We have new details for you out of Greenville County. The coroner's office identified skeletal remains found this morning. The sheriff's office says the call came in after 8:30. Employees of a business here on West Blue Ridge Drive found those skeletal remains behind the business. The coroner's office identified the remains as 40-year-old James Smith, who went missing last month. He was from Greenville. Smith was last seen near White Horse Road July 20th. As of right now, Smith's cause and manner of death have not been released, but both the coroner and sheriff's offices are investigating.